the doctor had come in and was like discussing with him his debts and like how these treatments, how much they cost. And he said, I am dying as I had lived, beyond my means. Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two best friends tell you about something or someone in history. It's a someone today. I'm Emily, and this is Morgan. Hello. How are you? It's been forever.
I know. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. How are you, Emily? How are you?
Morgan knows, but I think I'm gonna be held together by like duct tape and bubble wrap for the foreseeable future, because I decided to take a week off from work, and we went to Norris like we try to do every year. I broke my toe. Okay, actually, let me start from the beginning. Last weekend, I was like, honey, I want to go fishing. And where we go fishing is on the upper Hiwassee River. Mm-hmm. There's dam systems, as we've discussed, all throughout Tennessee. Those dams will turn on the turbines and release water at certain times of day. If you're close enough to the dam, you'll hear the alarm. If not, you pay attention to rocks. And if the water starts rising, you get out of the river.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I wanted to go fishing. So my lovely, wonderful husband took me fishing, and I wandered off too far. Like, I turned around, and my husband was tiny. He was like, little, no. Like, you close an eye, you pinch him size. Like,
yeah. Just wandering off.
So I got in trouble. He told me he was going to give me walkie-talkies from now on so he could cuss me out from afar. Because he was like, well, she's gone. That'll be a nice life insurance policy. But I made it back. I was fine. And then when we went to Norris, I was taking my river bath on my paddleboard, and I didn't have my contacts in. So when I got back on the dock, I didn't see a 2x4. Oh. And on the toe that we all know my foot was broken, I got the claw, the toe that sticks up weird.
Her little derp toe.
My little derpy toe. I kicked the 2x4 so hard that I immediately said a bad word and then went, that could be broken. That's fun. And I hobbled back. I had to paddleboard back to the other house where everyone else was. Barefoot. No. I'm fine. So I paddle back. And we go about our day, and I'm like, man, this thing is really hurting. I think I'll be all right, though. It's fine. I'll suck it up. I was trying to show one of the kids how to surf, and I fell off the surfboard face forward, which means my toesies bent forward. Ugh. And I came up, and I was like, ooh, that one hurt that toe a lot worse. And it just never felt better that day, and it was the day we left. Mm-hmm. Thank God it was the day we left. So we got all the way home, and I was like, man, this thing is like throbbing. And I finally looked at the bottom of my toe, and it is 17 shades of purple. Eek. And I'm like, I know what a broken finger digit looks like. Yes. I'm aware. It's she ugly. And I'm like, what's funny about it is it doesn't hurt. It's sore, but I think I have so much nerve damage in that toe anyway, it just tingles a lot. I haven't taken pain medicine once.
Wow.
I've just been like not bending it, and like it doesn't move anyway, so I don't need to tape it to the toe next to it. Like, what's it going to do?
Right. It just kind of
straighten out.
It floats in midair.
Yeah. And like, I'm doing so well with it. I'm like, maybe it's just a hairline fracture. I'll take a hairline fracture. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to the doctor. No. So fast forward to this morning, and I just want coffee. I do. I started making my coffee. I walk away. I come back. Coffee pots go in. Full tilt. And listen, guys, this is a free country. And in my own home, you think I'm wearing a bra? We're friends, right? We can get personal, listeners. Sorry about this. I'm free balling in an old t-shirt and Knicks. That's probably paper thin. And I reach above the coffee pot and lean forward to get a cup. And my right titty just sits right on the metal band at the top of the coffee pot that is now scorching hot.
Oh, no.
And burned. Burn my boob.
Oh, it's so sensitive. Oh,
God. Yeah. Yeah, it was the worst part of the boob, if you know what, picking up what I'm throwing down.
Yep, I know.
So, my only reaction was to hold it and look at the coffee pot as if it offended me.
How
for
dare
a good
coffee
10
pot.
seconds. and then I'm like, did that happen? Like,
Just
for
glaring.
real? Just glaring at it. So I'm not doing okay. I'm not. This vacation tried to kill me.
It did.
But I'm making it.
You are. I think it's a very fascinating phenomenon that it's always the right side of your body.
It is always the right side. 100%.
Because I know like being right-handed has something to do with that, but I'm just imagining you just falling right side first everywhere you go and just like clomping around like
What's bad is like the studies have shown that typically you try to preserve your dominant side. You will sacrifice your non-dominant side. I never sacrifice my non-dominant side.
We all know you have no sense of self-preservation.
None. Not a bit. And I'm just going about my daily life. It's not my fault. I don't know what else to do. Like, not walk barefoot. But, like, I come from a family, like, my mama broke her toe because she sucked it up into a vacuum once. Like, it's hereditary, I think.
That's so funny.
So, I guess we should get this episode going before I do something else to myself.
Yes, while you're still here and relatively preserved.
Yes. I feel like I need to, like, donate this body to science when I die so they can try to figure out what the hell happened.
What is going on with this woman?
Who knows? Anywho, we got a good one for you today for our last Pride Month episode that is late. But here we go.
Woo!
It's January the 2nd of 1882. Two American customs officers are waiting for the passengers of the most recent ship to come to shore so they can be checked in to the United States.
Have you heard that some man, Wilde, is coming to America?
A wild man? Maybe he shouldn't be allowed in.
No, not a wild man. A man named Wilde.
Still not seeing a difference.
He's a poet. Apparently an aesthetic man from London.
What aesthetic?
Fancy?
What does that even mean? Just then, a man wearing a velvet suit and silk socks comes down the ramp with a bag and a languid posture that implies he isn't bothered by a thing. The officers greet him.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to New York. Do you have anything to declare? I have nothing to declare but my genius. Seems pretty wild to me.
talking about today? Do you know?
It sounds like we're talking about, and the only reason I know this because I'm looking at a book like right now by a man named Oscar Wilde.
Yes.
I have the picture of Dorian Gray in my bookshelf right now. I haven't read it yet, but yeah.
I have not read any of his works. I would love to after this, though. He was an interesting man, and I wish, and this is a warning, guys, I wish I could say this is a happy story. But you will still kind of love him by the end of this anyway.
Okay. Why are all of our gay
Not
stories
kinda
so
love him.
sad?
I don't know. But let's just get into it. Okay. So on October the 16th of 1854, Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde was born in Dublin, Ireland, so he was Irish, to Sir William and Francesca Wilde. He was the second of the couple's 3 children, even though he has 3 half-siblings from a previous relationship of his father's, or previous relationships. I don't know. Oscar's daddy was getting out there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. His father was actually a leading ear and eye surgeon for the time, to the point where he was knighted for his work.
Whoa.
And he was also an archaeologist and statistician.
Whoa.
On the Great Famine, and also like kind of historian for like folklore and an author. Bro couldn't sit. Okay.
So he was getting busy in a lot of ways.
A lot of ways. He had immense publication like accomplishments. So he was well written as well. His mother was a very remarkable woman too. She was very tall, and also accomplished in her own right. She was beautiful. But she had a pen name of Speranza, which is a hell of a pen name.
Yeah.
Because she was a poet, and her poems actually called for like the rebellion against Great Britain. Like they were rebellious poems. I love this lady.
That's awesome.
And she later became a very respected translator and essayist, and also one of the leading authorities on Celtic myths and legends. And she published collections about Irish folklore. So she's kind of a badass too.
That's really amazing.
Yeah. And unfortunately, his dad, throughout the years, had like some weird lawsuits going on. There was one lady that said that she had like a fainting spell in his office, and he like seduced her under chloroform or something of that nature. The charges were dismissed.
Whoa.
But like, you know, rumors go a long way back then. Who knows if they were true or not? I don't know. But he was, like I said, the middle child. His oldest brother, William, was born in 1852. So just 2 years prior to Oscar. He would go on to become a journalist, and Isola was their younger sister, was born in 1857. She unfortunately died of a fever when she was 9 years old.
Aww.
When Oscar was away at school, and he like kept a lock of her hair for the rest of his life. It was the saddest thing. So his dad actually would take the boys on expeditions with him.
Ooh.
And his mother had them baptized in secret when he was 5, even though they were officially Protestant church goers.
Wait, Like baptized Protestant?
Catholic.
Oh, baptized Catholic.
Catholic.
Ah.
Yeah, sorry. Baptized Catholic.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. His like religious affiliations growing up were very mixed. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about them because he seemed to not have really claimed any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just
he was a free spirit.
He was that is a perfect way to say it. So at the age of 10, in 1864, he went to Portola Royal School in Ireland.
Okay. In Ireland.
Ireland. Y'all can Google it, okay? The school was a lot more structured than what he was used to. What I failed to mention is that his parents were very popular. They were always having dinner parties. They were always socializing with Ireland's like leading artists and writers and political figures. And he had a very privileged upbringing, but also it was very free and kind of unstructured. And he's bumping elbows at 5 years old with like some of Ireland's best.
Okay.
So he goes to the school in Ireland, this royal boarding house school, and he hates it. Obviously. It's one of these schools that was established during like King James the First training ground for British Empire kind of boarding schools. Very strict.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he did not like being there, he actually showed that he was a very gifted student anyway. Top of his class. And he stayed there for, I believe, 7 years. And then in 1871, he enrolled in Trinity College in Dublin for classic studies. So this is like more college vibe. Where again, he was an outstanding student. He liked the college setting better. He was very interested in the classics. Classics meaning like classic literature and language.
Mm-hmm.
That. He thrived academically and even got scholarships.
Okay.
He won the Berkeley Gold Medal for Greek, which was the highest award for like the classics in that school.
Okay.
And he met a fellow student named Edward Carson at Trinity. He will be important later.
Okay.
So in 1874, just after a couple years, he goes to the Magdalen College at Oxford to further his studies in the classics. This is where we see him starting to wear his flamboyant outfits and his mannerisms. He started like really honing in his mannerisms to curate like this image that he wanted everyone to see him as. He would wear like peacock feathers and had long hair and was very extravagant and would carry like lilies and was just very, even his room was very flamboyant. Mm-hmm. Like he had this blue china in it, and one of the quotes, I didn't write it down, so don't come at me if it's not perfect, but he was like, I find it harder and harder every day to live up to my blue china. Like he had that. Flamboyant is probably the best term to use.
It sounds like he had maybe what we maybe even a little bit today consider a more feminine side that he wasn't trying to hide behind like masculinity. Right. He was like, I'm gonna like what I like. and I'm gonna be who I want to be and show off what I want to show off, and y'all can deal with it.
Exactly. And what they saw this as was kind of like a rebellion against, I guess it would be we're in the Victorian era right now, right?
It's very strict.
A very big rebellion against the Victorian, I guess, shackles on what should be known as, polite society and
there
stuff.
Were very strict guidelines for like all manner of society, including the way you dressed. Men had very set expectations, and I feel like the Victorian era, it wasn't like as conservative as some other points in time as far as like attire goes and wardrobe goes, but it was like relatively conservative,
Yeah.
There were certain ways that you had to dress to communicate certain things, and he's just like, let me wear my peacock feathers and, do whatever. Very different.
They kept mentioning his long hair, and
how
that must
dare,
have just...
How dare he have
shoulder-length hair.
Oh, man.
But despite people having these, probably differing opinions about his style, he won a poetry prize in 1878. And then I put literally, OMG, this documentary is boring me to tears.
Oh, no.
I don't know why. I had to write down my feelings on that one. It was very informative.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Not so much.
Nah. No. So, okay. Back on it. So, in November of 1878, he graduates from Oxford. And he ends up getting his bachelor's degree with top honors in classical moderations and classics, which is, they kept referring to it as like a double firsts or something of that nature, which I guess would mean top in two things, which is hard to do.
I don't know how school works over there.
Me either. I'm doing my best, guys. So, immediately after graduation, he moved to London because he was just ready to take on London, I guess. He just was like, London, here I come. I'm just gonna be popular.
Watch out.
Popular. That was literally like his MO, was like, I know I'm gonna be popular.
I love that.
So he moved in with a friend, Frank Miles, and very quickly became a very sought after guest at dinner parties and salons. He dressed very flamboyantly. He was a very prominent and yet still controversial person, and that was fine with him because the more you're talking about him, the more popular he is. Mm-hmm. He began to be frequently caricaturized in like local papers. Like they were doodling him.
Oh. Like just like cartoons of like there he goes.
Satire. Yes. Like, oh, it's Oscar. And that's just made him more famous and more of a household name. And he was very involved with what they called the PBs, the professional beauties.
Okay.
And he was basically like, if you don't have hot women behind you, you can't go up in society because women rule the world. And I'm like, we do. You don't necessarily have to be hot, but like, whatever.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah. So his personality is really what initially made him famous at first. He hadn't even really published anything just yet. He was just out there vibing. He wasn't even really making money. He was running through money, actually. He was spending it left and right, and he wasn't freaking bringing anything in. I guess daddy was paying for it. I don't. But he established himself through this as a leader in the London aesthetic movement. On top of being like caricaturized in papers, he was parodied as a dandy. I guess one of the, y'all know what I mean by dandy, right?
Is that like a term for a flamboyant gay man?
A very not necessarily gay, I don't think. Just
little
the vibe.
Yeah,
I think. But he was parodied in the Gilbert and Sullivan opera named Patience.
Okay.
So they took him as inspiration for one of the characters.
I've just can you imagine being such a vibe that two of the most famous playwrights of all time make a play to include you in it?
I don't even have the framework in my brain to imagine that. What do you mean?
He strolls into London, is like, all of y'all are going to know exactly who I am, exactly what I'm about. I'm going to be the star, the celebrity.
Yeah. He literally got into probably one house party. Uh-huh. And everyone was like, you got to be at my house party next weekend, 7 p.m. Saturday.
He's like the Beyonce of his time. He is just... I love this for him.
I know. He's like the personality hire.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything for you, but he's there for the vibes alone.
And he is a good time, clearly.
Obviously. Such a good time. So in 1881, he finally publishes some things.
Okay.
Took him a couple of years, but he published his first book, which is a collection of poems, which he titled Poems. That's it. Poems by Oscar Wilde. And as for that day, because the Victorian times, mm-hmm. They were scandalous. They were sensual. They were about, love and loss and, all the human emotions. But, you don't talk about those things back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
More taboo topics.
Yes. And they were shocking by the standards. But, as he said, there's only thing worse than being talked about. And that is not being talked about. So, to him, any what am I saying? Any marketing is good marketing. What am I trying to say? What's the word?
Any attention is good attention?
Is good attention, basically. Yes, thank you. So, this kind of picked him up there a little bit more. Now, he is still out there vibing, living this very flashy, flamboyant lifestyle. He now has poems out in the world, but are they... Oh, and also, he also said there's no such thing as a moral or immoral book. Books are well written or badly written, that is all. And I thought that just fit there very well. I might say a lot of quotes throughout this. They might not necessarily go with that timeline.
Yeah.
Roll with it.
But, I mean, that makes sense, just because an author writes something doesn't mean they necessarily endorse that. Most authors are just trying to say something or bring up a point or express their opinions or ideas.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with an asterisk, because I do think there's some depraved fucking shit out there that I don't think anyone should read.
No.
But that's my opinion. I'm not going to control anyone from reading or doing it, but,
Yes. Well, as a dark romance reader myself, there's a hard line that I would read in a book, but would definitely not endorse in the real world.
Right. It's a book. It's fiction. It's not real.
Yes. And some of those are very well written that evoke emotion. I was reading some shit a couple months ago, and I was like, why am I feeling like this about this? Because the book was well written.
Yeah.
And it brought the emotions it was aiming to do.
Right.
But then you could read something that's like, in theory, is good. If it's badly written, nah.
No one's going to connect with it.
Exactly. I want to be in it.
I watch a lot of videos of reviewers, book reviewers, and they review the books that they don't like. And they could be books that are really, really popular, and it's just their personal opinion. They don't like it. And they're like, these are all the reasons I don't like it. And a lot of them say when they, in their opinion, a book is badly written. Like, and they're like, it's such a good, like, idea, and I wish I could have connected, but, like, the author didn't even hire an editor to, like, correct things.
You have to. Nothing, a typo will take you out so bad.
Yes. And they happen, but, like, if it's consistent. Anyway, we're getting, like, really into books.
Oh,
I'm sorry to derail you.
No, it's okay. It's easy to do. So, he's living a flamboyant lifestyle. He's got a little bit of income from this poem. We do have a problem, though. Mm-hmm. He's broke as shit.
Yeah, he was dropping dollars in the club, like, with no income.
Yeah, and I think at this point, his father had passed away, so I don't think he had any more money coming in. I forgot exactly when he passed away, but somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, Richard Doyley Cart was the producer of Gilbert and Sullivan's operas. And he saw an opportunity with Oscar Wilde to make money because they were trying to push the opera Patience in America.
Okay.
But they were afraid that if they just sent it over there, no one would understand the inspiration behind the, like, aesthetic young man in Burnthorne and Grosvenor.
Okay.
So that character, or those characters, they would be like, it's going to be lost because that is not, the aesthetic movement was not in America. So that's going to be totally lost on Americans. Mm-hmm. So what better person to kind of go and define this character than the inspiration himself?
Yeah.
So they asked him if he wanted to go do a lecture tour. Well, Oscar Wilde's broke. So Oscar Wilde was like, you damn Skippy. Absolutely, I will go on this, lecture tour in America. He set out in late 1881, docked January 2nd, 1882. And like our skit, it is said that when the customs officials asked him if he had anything to declare, meaning luggage or anything, he said, I have nothing to declare but my genius.
That's such a vibe.
I love him. You never know what's coming out of his mouth. He was supposed to be there for 8 months, but he was there for almost an entire year because of how popular his lectures had become. Mm-hmm. They were met with intense media attention and, like his poems, good and bad reviews. Some didn't like his look and his aesthetics because he really ramped up the flamboyance to kind of play into the character that he's trying to, portray. But also, he didn't even really talk about the opera. He more talked about the classics and poetry and art and literature. And then he, later on in the tour, like, changed it up and was, like, talking about his experiences in America and compared and contrasted and, like, got really deep with these crowds. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was going and talking to miners, the people that dig up things.
Yes.
Not youngins.
not
miners.
Children.
Yes. And, like, Mormons and people of other, religions and all sorts of different people. He spoke to, like, 135 different audiences over the year. Like, a lot. Mm. And he ended up becoming an international celebrity because of this tour. And he went to the United States and Canada. And during his time, he met poets like Walt Whitman, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr., and then Louisa May Alcott, who it was said that she was very unimpressed with him.
I love that. Okay, I gotta check. Sorry, I keep being derailing. Did Louisa May
derail away.
Alcott write Little House on the Prairie?
Maybe.
Or did she write Anne of Green Gables?
Little Women.
Ah. Man, I was wrong on both accounts.
Man, she wrote a lot.
Anyway, continue, please.
Transcendental Wild Oats. I want to read that one.
Whoa.
What a title. So, he met all these famous people. Some loved him, some didn't. I'm sure some were, didn't have an opinion. But his lecture tour... Oh, I'm sorry. Back it up. Okay. While he's there, he produced his first play, Vera, in New York. Not very popular at all. But he gave it a go, right?
I mean, I haven't written a play, so...
I hadn't either. And in 1883, he comes back and lectures in the UK. So, during this time, he wrote his second play, The Duchess of Padua. That also kind of tanks. And he was just kind of in Paris. Very well received personally. But those first two plays just kind of didn't do well. And it was here that he came back in contact with a woman he had been interested in before the United States tour. He came back in contact with her, and her name was Constance Lloyd. She was the daughter of a wealthy Irish barrister.
Okay.
And after a very short courtship, they were engaged in early May, and they were married on May 29th of 1884. And they got married in London. She had a modest income of her own because of her family.
Okay.
And they settled into Chelsea on, I think it's called Tite Street. So they would go on to have 2 children. On June the 5th of 1885, their first son, Cyril, was born. And on November 3rd of 1886, their second son, Vivian, was born. So, just know, they're there. They will come back up.
Okay.
So, for a while, everything was good. Because he's Oscar Wilde and he's living his flamboyant lifestyle. And they bought this hella cool house on Tite Street. And they had it decorated all fancy and had priceless artwork and all sorts of cool shit in there. And they were living on Constance income.
Mm-hmm.
But that very soon turned into not enough to live on. So he had to go forth and do jobs. In 1885, he gave up lecturing to be a book reviewer. And then in 1887, he was hired to revitalize the Women's World magazine. And during those 2 years, he did actually turn that magazine around. It was, he insisted that the publication, quote, deal not merely with what women wear, but what they think and what they feel. So he turned it from a fashion gossip magazine into a magazine for women that was intellectual.
Yeah, that's great.
I love it. I love this. And it was also during this time that he started branching out, and he published The Canterville Ghost and Lord Arthur Saville's Crime in 1887 as well.
Okay.
So not full novels, but I believe they were shorter stories. And then in 1888, he published The Happy Prince and Other Tales. And it was basically a collection of fairy tales that he had written for his children, which is so cute. And these came with very great success. And this was really his biggest transition from, like, just dude vibing, doing random jobs, to, like, writer.
Yeah. Okay. He's found his purpose.
Yes. And his success erupts. So this is all happening very quick. Notice these years are like a year apart, 2 years apart, very quickly. So he publishes a book of short stories, along with like his essays outlining his thoughts on aestheticism, which is such, I don't know, living in the modern world where we can just wear what we want and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Writing essays on why you should wear velvet suits is funny to me.
It's incredible.
I respect it. I love it. And obviously it was more than just wearing velvet suits.
Right.
But that's all I can think of. But this is the year that he publishes his only novel. Only one. Full novel. And it was The Picture of Dorian Gray. And it was published first in the 1890 issue of the American periodical Lippincott's Monthly Magazine. And it was initially in a much shorter version, but then he revised it, added new chapters, and then published it as a full book in 1891. It was kind of controversial. They said that the book had some homoerotic overtones, and they just kind of didn't, a lot of people didn't like what the story was about, really. How, I guess you'll just have to read it for yourself.
I will, and I will let you know how it is.
Please do.
I have heard.
Yes.
It is pretty gay. And I mean that like homosexual.
Yes. Yes. Cool. That's fun, I think. And, you know, I didn't really know what The Picture of Dorian Gray really was about until, like, I heard about it. But, like, it's like he is forever young.
Yeah. But
the picture of him, as he does, like, bad things, gets older.
Yeah. I've heard something similar.
So, I'm trying to... None of that sounds gay, but I guess it depends on what I don't know.
It's the relationships, maybe. I'll read it. Maybe I'll bring it to the beach and I'll let you know.
That's a good idea. What a hell of a beach read.
Let's see how it goes. I've also got A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams literally right next to it. So I'm like, man, my bookshelf makes me look really smart.
Please don't judge me by my bookshelf. It's so much smut. I can't. You know what? Or judge me by my bookshelf. I don't know what to tell y'all at this point. Maybe that's the only thing holding me together. Anywho. Speaking of smut, his secret personal life was, let's just say controversial for the time.
Yes.
I think it was probably in his late 20s, early 30s that he kind of realized he was gay. He started in his 30s chasing boys, kind of living this double life in his 30s. And through a mutual, not friend, I guess. So his friend came to visit one day and the friend brought his cousin, who was an aspiring poet at Oxford, over with him. And this cousin was Lord Alfred Douglas. I do have a picture of him and Wilde and Constance as well. So they were very much drawn to each other, even though Alfred was 20 years younger.
Whoa.
20-ish years younger.
Okay.
So Alfred was drawn, it was said that he was drawn to Oscar because of his brilliance and his fame and, very flashy. And Oscar was very drawn to his youth and beauty, noble lineage, because he was a lord.
Oh, okay.
Lord Alfred Douglas. Also, all of his friends called him Bosie, which I think is a cute nickname.
That is a cute nickname.
Yeah. So, in the very beginning, they had feelings for each other. And one day, Bosie, Alfred, sent him a letter and was like, hey, I'm being blackmailed by my lover, who is also gay. And can you help me? So Oscar actually went to Oxford, apparently, and, paid off this lover to, go away.
Whoa.
I guess ex-lover, if you're blackmailing. But then it was said that, because let me be clear. Being gay was illegal back then.
Right.
So, if you had a guy that was, accusing you of being gay, that was not good. So it made sense why it would just pay off, go away, sweep this under the rug, and help you out. But this is where they're thinking the love affair really started.
Okay.
This relationship would last 1892, 1893. They were very public in their closeness. Definitely drawing the public eye. They were going trips and dinners and staying in fancy places together. And
everyone was keeping up with Oscar Wilde because they were like, oh, there goes Mr. Dandy over there,
Yep. There goes the coolest guy in town. Who's that kid with him? And I say kid because he's 20 years, he's an adult, but 20 years younger. So this is drawing the public eye. It's also putting a financial strain on Wilde because, of course it is. And the person who hates this the most is Douglas's father. He very deeply disapproved of Oscar Wilde and said that Oscar was a very bad influence on his son. And apparently, from what I can gather, they had a very tumultuous relationship anyway. It was Oscar would try to break away, but then Arthur would do something that kind of brought him back and wouldn't let him leave. And one source said apparently at one point they actually, after a couple of years, stopped sleeping together, and it was Douglas who was introducing him to male prostitutes on Piccadilly Street.
Whoa. Okay.
And even though he knew it was dangerous, he was still sleeping with these men. I don't really know. That was just reporting. It will come back up later though. Okay. So back to his commercial success. So in 1892, really 1891 to 1895, Oscar was dominating the scene in the theaters.
Okay.
He wrote Lady Windermere's Fan, which was a hit. He also wrote a play in French, probably just to brag that he knew fluent French.
Show off his genius.
Yeah, seriously. His genius. But it was called Salome. But no one would let him produce it because there was a law that wouldn't let you depict biblical characters on stage.
Mm.
So, but apparently it was like a really cool thing. I think you could like, I'm sure they've made it by now. But, and in 1893, A Woman of No Importance.
I've heard of that one.
Yes, it was one of his greatest successes. A lot of these are comedies, which really, I love a comedy.
Me too.
I kind of want to see them.
I'll let you know if any come to TPAC.
Please, we'll go together. So, on February the 14th, Valentine's Day, The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that one too.
Premieres at the St. James Theatre in London. It was also around this time that Douglas's father was getting very fed up with his son being acquainted with Oscar Wilde. Because, like, Oscar Wilde is in the peak of fame. He's got friends left and right.
He's basically a rock star.
Yeah. His father started a smear campaign. His father was also very powerful and wealthy and affluent.
I mean,
started a smear campaign.
Arthur was a lord, so, you know.
Yeah. He's like the Queensbury, something of Queensbury. I don't know these titles, guys.
Okay.
They're stressful. Y'all are so proper. So he started like a smear campaign. Like at one point it said he tried to get into the theater to throw like vegetables at Oscar and was like banned from entry. And he was just making a scene to try to disrupt everything.
Yeah.
But Arthur was like, just ignore my father. Just dismiss everything that's happening right now. It's fine. I hate this man. So just ignore it.
I hate my dad.
I hate my dad. You don't understand me, Dad.
I'm sorry. I know that this isn't really something to be making jokes about. I'm very loosey-goosey right now.
So, he kept coming out with bangers, and in 1895, An Ideal Husband came out.
Okay.
It was also a success. These plays, it was said that they really hit home on very complicated issues, but like in a very funny, comical way.
Mm-hmm.
People loved them. So just a couple days after An Ideal Husband came out, Daddy-O goes to Oscar's like club. I don't know if like he owned the club or if he just frequented it enough to where like it was kind of his, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he goes there to confront Oscar. Well, Oscar's not there. And so what he does is he leaves his calling card and he wrote on the back of it, quote, Oscar Wilde posing. He meant to say sodomite, but he misspelled it somdomite.
Mm.
So apparently, like, misspelling it was like a jab somehow. I think that's how I interpreted that. I don't know if it was like he just misspelled it or
if it was on
like
purpose.
a jab.
Okay.
But it was misspelled. So he had a couple decisions. He was faced with a decision at this point because it took a couple days for that note to get to him. But being accused of sodomizing, being a sodomite.
Yeah, that was the big illegal
that's a
thing.
Big thing. Yeah, because like you could be flamboyant and like show affection to another man, but the moment things get like physical, they're like,
yeah,
absolutely not.
Right.
So Oscar was like, I could back off, break things up with Arthur for now until things die down, whatever. Or I could choose confrontation and sue him for libel. Well, from what I could gather, Arthur was like, F you, daddy, Oscar should sue you for libel. Oh. And like pushed him. Also, I could see where Oscar could think he could win this.
Yeah. Because how do you prove it? You know, right. Like, you're like, are you in the rooms with me? Like,
yeah, you spying on me, you weirdo?
Right.
Sorry, I just had a thought. That's the same mentality I have about selling feet pics, because how would you know if they were mine? If someone looked at my feet and they're like, you're on Foot Finder. It's like, how do you know? You on Foot Finder? Like, that's...
I mean, I would know, but I also wouldn't be on Foot Finder.
No, exactly. How would they know? No one will know.
Yeah, you just don't include your face.
Y'all, I'm not on Foot Finder, I promise. Okay, it's a joke my husband and I have.
Because her feet she has a busted foot, you guys. As we've established.
Would love the claw. Someone out there would love the claw, okay? Especially now that it's all purple and weird and shit. They'd love it, okay? That's a niche market is what that's called. Anyway, oh my God. So he was faced with this decision, and he ultimately decided to go for libel.
All right.
Which, guys?
Ugh.
Because you're right, Morgan. How would they know? Well, Edward Carson from Trinity College was the lawyer for Daddy-O. And their game plan was to prove that he was engaging in these homosexual activities. And to do this, they gathered evidence by way of testimony from several young men, male prostitutes, hotel attendants that had been associated, and also to make it seem like his writing itself was immoral. So look into Dorian Gray and his other writings to look for undertones of homosexuality.
I kind of saw that coming, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that's libel and then have people who were there and, you know, have witnesses and people who engaged with you. But I will say, going after the books has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do.
But I know the time, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so scandalous. That means he's evil and of Satan.
They also somehow found letters from Arthur and Oscar as well.
Yeah.
So he was cornered. It was said at the beginning of the trials that Oscar was very composed, but then his composure really crumbled. And there was like one that was like, oh, well, did you kiss this man? And Oscar slipped up and was like, no, I didn't kiss him. He's too ugly for me. And obviously in more eloquent words. But then they were like, so you didn't kiss him because he was ugly? So you would have if he was good looking. Like, trapped him in questions like that.
Right.
Also, rude, Oscar. Rude.
That is rude.
So rude.
You can just say he's not my type. He used
the word ugly. Yeah, come on. Let him down easy. So, after Oscar's, like, composure crumbled, they basically withdrew. Daddy-O was acquitted.
Yeah.
It was basically an elaborate trap this whole time.
Right.
Because now the acquittal basically solidified that the accusations against him were true. Then, get this bullshit. They immediately took the evidence that was gathered for the libel against
trial.
Wilde, went straight to the director of public prosecutions, and the same day or next day that Daddy-O was acquitted, the warrant for Oscar's arrest was sent out.
It's so sad.
It is horrendous. And if he had just backed away.
Yeah.
So on April the 5th, a warrant was issued for his arrest for public indecency with other male persons under Section 11 of the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 1885. It is said that he had the opportunity to flee, but his friend Robert Ross and Arthur Douglas even begged him to run away.
Mm-hmm.
But he just kind of dilly-dallied and didn't. It just kind of, like, he kind of just had this finite just idea that it was done.
Yeah.
Is what the vibe was. So, on April 26th, his trial begins. So just a couple weeks later, he is tried alongside Alfred Taylor, who was being charged for, like, helping him find the prostitutes. Oscar's counsel tried to discredit the witnesses. They were unsuccessful in that.
Mm-hmm.
The first trial, he was released on bail on May the 1st because the jury could not come to a verdict. Alfred Taylor was guilty of a couple things and, like, whatever. So the second trial was just for Oscar on May the 20th. And they narrowed down the prosecutions, like the
charges?
Counts. Yes,
okay.
The counts. And on May 25th of 1895, he was found guilty on all counts except for one. And they sentenced him to the maximum penalty allowed under this act. And that was 2 years of hard labor, which was borderline a death sentence then.
Right.
So he began his 2 years. And guys, this was not designed for rehabilitation.
Exactly.
Also, during this entire time, Arthur Douglas's family was like, go to France, run away. So he did. I don't like this guy.
Mm.
He seems to just bring trouble.
Yeah.
Onto him. So his sentence begins on May 25th of 1895. He has horrible treatment. It's very shocking, very degrading from the lifestyle, of course, that he had been living.
Yeah.
And he suffered immensely, physically and psychologically. His numbers were C33, and that's all they ever called him. They did not call you by your name. In November of that year, he was declared bankrupt, and the contents of his tight street were auctioned off at very low prices to the public. I mean, embarrassingly low prices. And his plays were removed from stages, his books were removed from sale, all of it.
Was Constance okay because of her family?
Yes, I don't know exactly when, but she did end up moving. Okay. I think she went back to Ireland.
Okay.
But his name basically became synonymous with scandal, mm-hmm. perversion.
That's so sad.
All that. And he ended up being transferred a couple times to different prisons. I think 3 in total. He ended his sentencing in the Reading jail. Now, during his time in prison on February the 3rd of 1896, so almost halfway through his sentence, his mother passes away. And his wife, actually, the only time she comes to visit him in prison was to break the news in person that his mother had passed away. And he ended up being able to pay for the funeral, but was unable to afford a headstone.
Oh.
So she's actually buried in an unmarked grave.
Oh man, that is so sad.
I'm so sorry to break your heart even further. Constance, who was very initially supportive of him and
mm-hmm.
still loved him very much, was under pressure from her counsel, from, I guess, her family, the people close to her, to distance herself for the sake of the children.
Yeah. Who
were like 10 and 11 at this point. And she wanted to be supportive, but she ended up asking him to give up his parental rights, which he did. And then she changed her surname and the children's surname to Holland. So basically erasing the Wilde name from their identity completely. And did, at some point, move.
Yeah.
I guess to be closer to her family. This sentence broke me. He never saw his children again.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. He, at one point in his sentencing, he became very ill and collapsed at prison. And he ended up with an ear infection that would plague him for the rest of his life. He would just get this ear infection over and over again.
And this is before antibiotics, so...
Yep.
What do you do? Ugh.
What do you do? So later in his sentencing, he finally ended up at Reading jail, and his sentence got a little easier. He was allowed more amenities, and that was where he wrote a letter, like a soul search letter, to Lord Alfred Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very many pages. It was called like Titus de Profundis, like from the depths or something is what it like translated to. But he recounted in this letter his relationship, his own flaws, his sorrows, how Alfred had contributed to this. He was not permitted to send it from jail, so he like entrusted it with a friend until his leave. So on May 19th of 1897, he was released from jail, serving his full sentence. He still had like some friends around to help him, and apparently his friends had been trying the entire time to get his sentence reduced, to help him out, but to no avail.
Yeah.
And he knew he could not remain in England anymore, so he went to France, but even people in France were kind of snubbing him. So he ended up going to like a smaller part of France. Not a lot of people knew him. And he was in poor health being released.
Sure.
He adopted the name Sebastian Melmoth and made an effort to write again. And he was told not to make a reunion with Lord Alfred Douglas, or your allowance was getting taken away. Apparently Constance was giving him an allowance.
Okay.
But I guess the pool was too much for him. They met secretly in Rouen. That's in France.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. In August of 1897. And they ended up going to Naples, Italy. They attempted to rekindle their relationship. It did not go well. They fell into old habits. Spending too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping around. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Constance found out. Cut off his allowance. They ended the relationship in late 1897. It only lasted a couple months.
Yeah.
They never rekindled again. That was it. And in doing this, not only did he alienate his wife, but he alienated a lot of his friends that had been trying to help him out after he got out. Because it's like, you went back to the problem, dude.
Right. Like, it doesn't seem like you're really trying to help yourself here.
So he moves into the Hotel de l'Essence in Paris. Hope I said that right. I tried. He then wrote The Ballad of Reading Jail, and that was published in February of 1898. And it was initially published under his prison number, C33. This is like an account of what he witnessed in the jail and his experience within there. And surprisingly, it was critically and commercially a success and ran through several editions. And eventually his name was put on there.
Like his real name, Oscar Wilde?
His real name.
Okay.
Yeah. On April the 7th of 1898, Constance passes away in Italy at the age of 40 from spinal surgery.
Oh, no.
Complications from spinal surgery. The children were only like 13 and 14. I feel so bad for these kids.
These poor kids.
On November 30th of 1900, just a few years later, Oscar passes away. So he had spent the last couple of years drifting from France to Italy, occasionally Switzerland, living in poverty, cheap hotels. His last years were pretty much marked with like loneliness, displacement. In 1900, his health did take a final dip. That ear infection got worse and turned into cerebral meningitis.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. So he was gravely ill and delirious. But there were still bits of him coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So it is said that he, in his last days, said, "My wallpaper and I are fighting a duel to the death. One or the other of us has to go."
Oh, no.
He hated the wallpaper so much.
That's so funny.
And then the doctor had come in and was like discussing with him his debts and like how these treatments, how much they cost.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I am dying as I had lived, beyond my means." So he actually asked his friends, Ross, last name Ross, I think it was like Richard Ross, asked, like, "I want to be welcomed into the Roman Catholic Church." And they were like, "You seem lucid right now." So they brought in like a priest, and he was given his last rites, was able to consent to like the baptism again. And then it is said he died the next day on November 30th, 1900. Okay. In the hotel room. He was 46.
Oh,
they had a small funeral attended by a handful of friends. He was buried in a small cemetery, but it was moved in 1909 to a bigger, more prestigious cemetery for artists. Okay. Now, his reputation. His friend Ross worked tirelessly, not only to settle his debts, but to clear his name. He published the letter that was sent to Arthur Douglas. That letter was not published while he was living.
Okay.
And it seemed like a lot of people who read this felt bad about kind of writing him off so early. It really did a lot to help his reputation. And not too long after his death, his plays were starting to get put back into rotation. His books were starting to get put back on the shelves.
Good.
And the letter that was published by Ross was edited, so I think parts were like taken out or tweaked a little bit. It was actually in 1962 a full letter was published. Now, just to round it out, because I was very curious, so I looked it up. His children, Cyril, actually died in 1915 during World War I. He was killed by a German sniper.
Oh, no.
In a battle, because he was in the Royal Artillery during World War I. And Vivian studied law at Cambridge, later became a writer and a translator. He, too, served in World War I, working for the BBC, and wrote a memoir in 1954 titled Son of Oscar Wilde. And apparently this book is about his father's devotion. And he ended up passing away in London in 1967. he had a child. So Oscar Wilde has a living grandson who is honoring his legacy now, which is just lovely.
Also crazy to think that he is a living grandchild.
Yeah. Weird. I was like, what do you mean your child lived to 1967? I'm sorry, what?
So Vivian was born in the 1870s, right?
1886.
Okay. I'm trying to do math and my brain is just going, nope. And Oscar was born in the 1860s?
1854.
Again, I'm not able to do math right now.
Hold on.
Crazy.
Yeah.
170 years.
1884. No. 1887, is that what I said?
You said 1886.
Oh, shit. Okay. 1886 minus 1854. He was 32 when the youngest was born.
That's crazy to think that 170 years later, Oscar Wilde has, like, a grandchild.
Yeah.
That's, like, still alive. That is so crazy to me.
It's so weird. Now, to round us out, I don't have any fun facts, but I do have some fun quotes.
Okay. I love fun quotes, too.
I love a fun quote, too. There's so many good ones. I swear to you, I tried to narrow that down. Okay. So, anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination.
Okay.
Man is... That rounds out his life so well. He's just vibing. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he will tell the truth.
Ooh.
That's deep.
Yeah. It makes me think of, like, internet culture, you know, and, like, the anonymity that people have when they're online. Ooh.
Yeah. This one I think is my favorite as far as, like, not the funny ones. You don't love someone for their looks or their clothes or their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear.
Oh.
I know.
Oh. And Kyle and I had a really deep conversation earlier today. And we were talking about, like, how much we, you know, work to make this relationship a good one and how we...
Yeah. No. Nick got deep on me last week, and I was like, how did you know that, like, I was the one? And he was like, well, a coworker asked me one day if I was in love, and he said, hell, I don't know. And the coworker was like, if your phone was about to die and you had one call left and you were in an accident and you didn't know if you were going to make it or not, would you call your mother or would you call your girlfriend? And without thinking, he said, my girlfriend.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God. And then he got in an accident and he called his mom first, but that was because he was not dying and she legally could make medical decisions for him. And I feel like that's fair.
Yes. Because y'all had not gotten married yet.
Correct. The ring only does so much.
Yes.
It was on the finger. I can't sign paperwork. Anyway, we have more quotes. I am not young enough to know everything. The only difference between a saint and a sinner is that the saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
Wow.
Yeah. I have the simplest of tastes. I am always satisfied with the best.
You know what? I'm getting Betty White vibes from him.
I love him so much. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying.
He's very funny. No wonder he wrote, like, only comedies.
Yeah. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Aww.
And I will leave you on a serious one. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all.
Wow.
Oscar Wilde, everyone.
Wow. Good job.
Thanks. I love him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love him so much. I'm so angry at the way people did him so dirty. Daddy-O needs a kick in the shin. For sure.
It's just so sad. Like, it's so sad. And I feel like, we've been covering Pride Month episodes for a while now, and
yeah, we got a late start. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. But like so many end so sadly. Like, I'm trying to think, like, has there been like a happy ending? Maybe the Elton John one, because he's still alive and like has been living a very long life. But I feel like everyone else we've talked about, well, Baron von Steuben, he lived a okay long life, and he was able to live with his male friends.
Other than Elton John, he had the best outcome.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't great.
Yeah.
But really it wasn't great because he put all of his hard work into the American Revolution for them to famously not pay anybody.
Right. But like
he had no money.
He got to like live with his companions and got to leave them his estate, even though he had to adopt them. And that was the only way he could legally do that.
Yeah, he found a loophole. But he lived, and that's the thing, is that he lived more, not conservatively, because it's not like it was a secret, but like
by the book.
He wasn't out there like Oscar was. And history has a history of vilifying these people for just being who they are.
I mean, think of Alan Turing. Like, he had to get chemically castrated because of it. And
he saved our asses in World War II and was chemically castrated because of who he loved. It makes me sick to think of how recently these people were just getting killed. And I mean, even to this day, people are getting killed for who they are as, and not, but like how the legal system was deeming their existence illegal.
Right.
How recently that was.
Yeah.
And it hurts my soul.
I mean,
because leave people alone.
It's just been just over a decade since in the U.S. they could legally even get married across the country.
We were in high school.
No, 2015. I remember it was 2015. I remember when it happened.
Was it that late?
Yeah, it was 2015 when gay marriage was legalized in the U.S.
And you know what? Had Daddy-O, I've already forgotten his name. Sorry, that's his name.
Just Daddy-O.
had Daddy-O, it's okay to disagree. Had Daddy-O just been like, I don't like your boyfriend. And his son that would probably hurt his feelings, but he wouldn't harbor so much hatred. It's fine to disagree.
Yeah.
There was no reason to go after him like that.
Yeah.
Just, it's okay to be like, I don't like that. And then the other person's like, okay. And then you go live different lives.
Yeah.
It's okay to have different opinions. Don't attack other people just because you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to get at.
Yes. I agree. Man, 46 is so young. That's so sad.
46. And for his wife to die, poor Constance didn't deserve that. And it seemed like every source I saw was like, she didn't want to just abandon him.
Yeah,
but her hands were tied.
And, I mean, honestly, like, how strong of her to, you know, because, I mean, if I found out Kyle was having affairs, even if they were with men, I would be like, I don't, you know, I'm not interested in maintaining a relationship. And she still wanted to help him, even after finding out that he had been having affairs, you know.
Maybe it might be a situation where, like, they just loved each other so much that she was like, okay, maybe our physical relationship is over. I still love you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she had some lovers on the side, or maybe she was just busy being a mom, but like, all I'm saying is, like, she could have known and still
supported him.
One, divorces was scandalous back then as well.
Yeah.
But maybe she thought the best way to protect him was to continue to be married.
Yeah.
And support and live and, you know.
And then she, you know, continued to provide for him after he got out of prison, but also said, you know, my boundary is that I'm not going to continue to enable you in this toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And then he got in the toxic relationship and she said, all right, I'm out.
Yeah. Love you. Bye. Sorry. And she has not even just him to think about, but their children to think about. And then for her to die over a spinal surgery, that's so sad.
It's so sad. This is a sad story.
Yeah. But also, why is he so funny?
He's hilarious. I'm really excited now to read a picture of Dorian Gray, and I'll let you know how it is.
Yes. Please let me know. I did actually hear a recording of his voice, and it sounds exactly how you think it should.
Okay.
He sounds just like his picture looks. I don't know how to say that any other way. But I was enraptured. I'm like, damn, I wish I could hear him, like, really, like, have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we need that time machine.
Oh, fuck. Please. We should do socials.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Jesus. Okay. If you want to see more of us, you can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast Group and Page.
TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
Ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/Ill-Equipped History.
Y'all, $5 a month.
$5.
$5.
The one that we just uploaded was one about villains in real life.
Oh, that was a good one. You're going to hate all those people. I'm still upset about the artwork. Y'all will know.
Too.
I'm so upset. Also, we are going to have some merch drops soon. As soon as I get my shit together. And they will be available for purchase for everyone. We are still coming up with something special for Patreon members only, but you will get, something special because you guys subscribe.
Yes.
So, we'll see what that looks like soon. But go ahead and subscribe so you will get the bonuses along with your bonus.
Woo.
Yes. Yay. Okay. I guess be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
I was literally thinking that in my head. I was thinking, be yourself and be funny.
And be funny. Also, I want to remember, do not live within your means because that means you suffer from a lack of imagination.
Die in debt like Oscar Wilde did.
Die in debt. Oh,
we all dying in debt. in the year 2026. Yeah. We all dying in debt.
I'm just trying to buy groceries. Like,
I know. I told Kyle how much I was going to send him for Venmo because I go to the grocery store. And he was like, that much money? And I was like, Kyle, I bought one tomato for $1.50.
Well, that's why I try to grow my own vegetables. So now I have one squash. It will get us through the famine. I left it on the vine too long and it was inedible. So I guess we're dying. I've yet to see a cantaloupe. There's blooms everywhere. I've yet to see a cantaloupe.
You'll get them
and
like
I had
November.
4 raspberries.
Raspberries?
So, yeah, I did raspberries and blackberries and blueberries. I've only seen raspberries. But you know what? They're trying. They're doing their best.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.